hey there, Diet Disruptors, Carrie here. And as you can see, I have a whole team of people with me. I always say I like doing podcasts with other people. And today, you are not just going to take my word for it, that balancing your blood sugar and dealing with mindsets and focusing on you and your oxygen mask first, you're not just going to have to believe that I know what I'm talking about. You're going to hear it from other people as well. So I'm very excited to be able to introduce to you three other clients, three diet disruptors who are rocking it. And they're all rocking it in very different ways, have seen very different types of progress, and they all wanted to come on to share with you. So first I have Anne, who's in my, let's see if I point this way. Dr. Anne is what I call her. I always talk about how our top three clients are doctors, nurses, and teachers. All people that put themselves before everybody else. But everybody always thinks that doctors all know the things. So we're going to talk to Dr. Anne and her journey. We're going to talk below me. I feel like I'm in a Brady Bunch, opening right now. Below me is Jen, who's been with us for 2 years. Anne's been with us for 6 months. And then we're going to talk to Kathy and see if I can point into the direction I'm in. And Kathy has been with us now, like June, July, August, so 3 months. So we have 3 months and 6 months and 2 years. And each of them have their own story. So we'll start with their stories and then we'll have a nice little discussion, because I know so many of you out there are like, is this really different? I've done all the things. I've done all the diets. How is this really going to work for me? So Dr. Anne, talk to us about your story, where you came from, what made you say yes to us. And I know it's so funny because your story is one where you were like, I don't know if this is really going to be a thing. And you were very skeptical of it all. So tell us a little bit.
Well, so I have done all the things, many diets. I've been, a yo-yo dieter since probably I was about 12. I lost some weight, I gained some weight, spent lots of money in different plans. They worked for a while and then I would fall off and the weight would come back and I'd get frustrated. And I stumbled upon you on, I don't know, Instagram or Facebook. And there was something about the whole concept that seemed to make sense. But I was a little skeptical because it was an investment. It was an investment that I wasn't sure was going to make a difference. Mm-hmm. But I decided this time that I needed something that was going to be something that could be my life. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I've been doing this now for 6 months. And I've had lots of successes. I feel great. I have more energy. I've also dropped 4 or 5 sizes in the 6 months. I'm exercising again. I think my sleep is better. It's very easy to do and it makes so much sense. And I actually recently started with the continuous glucose monitor just to see if this really does balance your blood sugars. Damn, it works. It works. And, the little spikes are so short and few and far between that if you eat the right combination of foods in the right intervals, everything stays perfect. And it's unbelievable.
I mean, so amazing. It is crazy. Like when people talk about how they talk to their doctors, like, how is it that you didn't know about this?
They didn't teach us anything. We did not learn nutrition. Now I'm a bit older than a lot. I was 60 this past December.
But you're a practicing medical doctor.
But we didn't learn anything. There was not a single course on nutrition. So it really is what you learn kind of on the street. It's, I think things may be different now. I believe that maybe they are getting some education, but I did not. And you grab onto things. I've been somebody who I tried the keto thing. I tried the intermittent fasting thing. They work for a while, but they're not something you can live with. They're just not.
And I don't what know does how working really mean, right? When you think about it.
Exactly. You drop the weight and you think that's the success, but you don't realize that there's everything else that goes with that. So,
And if you had a glucose monitor on while you were doing all those other things, you can imagine you would have been all up and down, which is why you're gaining the weight back and losing it.
It's really, I'm learning so much and I keep learning all the time and it doesn't end. there's always education, and we get so much from this group that you keep learning and growing. And I think that's the thing that's going to make this something that will be you forever.
Yeah.
It's funny, my husband, when I told him that I was going to be doing this and I was making this investment, and he's like, well, you spent a lot of money in the past, and why is this different? And I said, I don't know that it is, but I think it is. And I'm doing this for me. I'm not asking permission. I'm just telling you, this is what I'm doing. He doesn't say anything, but he knows. And when I'm not around, I know that he tells people, she eats this way, and and it's really, something that's very different. And I think he sees that it's different this time.
Yeah, I love that. You're just like, I'm gonna model it. Well, here's the thing. So now we've got Jen. And so we have Dr. Ann. In 6 months, she's down 4 or 5 sizes. She's learning a ton. I love that I'm educating doctors. I just think I have such respect for doctors and all of your education and all of the experience and the training that you have to go through, and that I get to educate you. It's just like mind blowing to me and so exciting. And then Jen, who is literally a trained pastry chef, was like, I need to still eat my food, right? Like, you're a foodie of all the foodies. But Jen, when you hear Dr. Ann's story, in 6 months, 4 to 5 pounds, 4 to 5, I'm sorry, dress sizes, you must be like shaking your head.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about why.
So I have been with you for 2 years. I found you on Facebook. Again, much as a similar story, I think everybody has who comes across you. We're kind of at that place where we've all been there and done it and felt like we're kind of at the end of everything we've tried or could try. And in the beginning, I didn't lose much weight, a little bit. I felt good and healthy, but I wasn't really losing things. And so I'm 2 years in.
But wait, before you even tell that, what made you stick with it?
Oh, I think it's because I feel good and I cook. And I manage the recipe vault, so that might be part of it.
Yes,
I
that
love
is
our
a
recipes.
huge piece. Jen has now started actually helping us to manage the entire recipe vault because of her experience with cooking and knowledge of it. So
I love to cook. And so that was my big thing when we originally talked, is I need to be able to still cook. I have recipes that I've cooked forever. I have family bread recipes and family recipes I've cooked forever. And how do I still enjoy those things, but not feel weighted and still be able to live my life? So the biggest thing for me is I cook every day still. And I cook foods that I've cooked my whole life and things that I love. And I've learned how to take those things and tweak them just a little bit, or change a couple ingredients, or change the way that I eat them or when I eat them.
yeah. But
and
then
by
you went to the
doing that,
doctor, Jen, and the doctor was like, wow, you're actually very, very healthy, considering technically I would think that you weigh more than than your ideal.
So if you look at BMI, which is pretty much what they do, and I'm VA, so that system might be a little bit more dated maybe than some modern clinics. But according to my BMI, I'm obese. I'm 5'2". I'm heavy, but my blood work is perfect. I'm super low on my blood sugar, super low on my blood pressure, to a point that it was like, this can't be right. Like, you can't be as heavy as you are. He said, it doesn't make sense to me that you are as heavy as you are and you're this healthy.
And you posted that in the group, and I loved it. And I thought, Jen loves herself and loves her life and her husband and all of the things, loves to cook and to share food. And her blood work is coming back incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's that piece where it's like, oh, we're like, I'm not losing the weight, but at least I'm in a place of health, right?
At least I'm healthy.
So I've been so proud of you of how well you stuck with it. And I think a lot of this has to do with mindset work and really understanding what's important to you. And that's such a big piece of what we do. But then tell us now, 2 years in, what's been happening just in the last month?
So in the last month, I'm dropping weight a lot and very quickly.
You told me it's melting off of you.
It is melting off of me. So things like I work in a national park, so I wear a uniform. The shirts, I literally looked in the mirror and was like, ooh, I look super sloppy. Like, these are huge. I was wearing men's large shirts. And now I'm wearing the fitted female mediums, which is a big change. And if
Just
somebody
the last
told me,
month and a half.
yeah, this is about a month and a half.
What is that telling you though about your body? And
my body finally
as a
trusts.
doctor too, I'd love for you to like just chime in if you want to about this, because what are you realizing about your body, and really 2 years later, what's actually happening?
Well, I think a lot, I mean, and you talk about this in the trainings, that your body doesn't trust you, right? It doesn't believe that you're going to keep eating this way, that you're going to continue to take care of yourself, right? And I'm almost 50. So I spent most of my life going from diet to diet to diet. And so my body finally said, oh, maybe we are really doing this, because it has been 2 years. And so after 2 years, it decided, I guess I don't have to keep all this extra weight around. Maybe we're not going back to that, taking everything out again. Maybe we're not going back to not eating on a regular basis, or only eating
Yes.
a certain
Does it make sense to you as a medical professional as to why in 6 months you dropped 4 to 5 sizes, but it took Jen like 2 years? I mean, you see different bodies all the time.
I just think, you always say you need to get to your optimal health to get to your optimal weight. And I guess, our bodies are unique things. I think the number on the scale is just a piece of data.
Mhm.
And if you're feeling well, your blood work is good, all of that is good, it means you're healthy. And look, the weight's now dropping off of Jen. So it means that yes, our bodies, are holding on to this for a reason. But when they realize that you're giving it the nutrition it needs, maybe it doesn't need the little stores it's got there just in case.
It's been protecting you, Jen, because your body loves you so much. Just like we love you, your body loves you. And
well, and it's a mindset thing too, in a big way, because you see, I'm an active part of this community. So I see everyone having these wins and people dropping weight, significant weight in a few months, right? And your mind goes back to how come I'm not doing that, right? And it is a matter of remembering my why, remembering why I do this, remembering that I feel good, and that maybe that size isn't as big of a thing as I've always made it out to be. But again, I think in our culture, it's a thing. And it's a thing where, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and it was definitely a thing about how big you were.
Mhm.
And so I think
a lot of inch. Remember that commercial?
Yep. Oh, so much.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think a lot of it is that, right? It's the mindset grasping that. And I'm not a patient person. I never have been. And so for me to just be like, oh, it's to believe and then to continue. And you teach us consistency over time. Mm-hmm. And it's hard when you don't feel like you're making the progress you want to make. But things like a doctor's visit where it goes so well, you realize, wait, so it doesn't really matter what size I am as long as I'm actually healthy. Mm-hmm. That's the part that really matters.
I mean, that's exactly it. And then look what's happening now.
Yeah.
And mindset is really the biggest piece of this. And so Kathy, as a life coach, knowing that we teach mindset, when you came to us back in May, I mean, I imagine it's like, well, I know this. I'm a life coach. I can deal with this kind of stuff. Talk to us about what made you be willing to work with an organization that says, we're not going to just teach you how to eat. We're going to teach you also how to think, and you're going to dig into your mindsets. I mean, part of me would be like, I already know how to do that. I don't need that. Talk to us.
Well, I did know that, and that was something that had been helping me on my own journey so far. but the other goals that I wanted to reach, it didn't. One of the words that I use as I finished this was like, it feels like puzzle pieces have just come together. I've learned about being healthy. I've learned about mindset work, getting through some cravings and things like that, and my why. But if one part isn't the right piece, it's not going to work.
You just didn't know how to eat. You really didn't, right?
Exactly. Even though, had studied with other people, prioritize protein or do this program. And yeah, I lost weight, but I didn't keep it off and I didn't feel better. I didn't feel healthy. And some of the programs actually caused food scarcity, for me. And so when I found, it just made sense, like balance your blood sugar. I had learned about that. And yeah, I just was willing to just go all in. It seemed like there was pieces all connecting. So,
I love that. So tell us a little bit about your story and your progress.
So I've always been health conscious, weight conscious. The mindset we're talking about of, like being thin is healthy. And so even though I've never, like, I didn't feel like I had more than 10 or 15 pounds to lose or that I wanted to lose, I couldn't do it. And as I was aging, creeping up a little bit, I didn't want that. And I was focused more on weight because that's healthy, right? And so I, but then I was also losing my desire to exercise. I just wasn't feeling well. My energy level was poor. My sleep was poor and getting poorer. And I knew I should exercise.
That's such a key, right? Gaining weight is a symptom of health and hormones, for sure. It's not about the number, but the gain. And we can know that without stepping on scale. Then your body starts talking to you. The cravings, the sleep issues, the energy, that is saying like, hey, we are off. And you listen to your body.
Right. And so I just jumped all in when I started. And at first I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to eat anymore. I really like these foods. What am I going to, like, how am I going to cook? And different things like that. And so many meals a day and putting it all together. What will I eat? But as I did it and my coach worked with me, she would say, how are you doing? And I'm like, I just feel so much better. I have pain that's gone. I'm not craving anymore. And, my afternoon chocolate craving is just gone. And if I'm hungry after 2 hours, I know exactly what I'm going to eat in an hour. I don't have to have drama about this. And that was really helpful to me. And over the past 3 months, it's just been really exciting. I get up early and go on my run 3 miles where I'd go for half the way and then could hardly make it home. I just felt so tired and it took me double the time and stuff. So it's exciting to just feel good and have a plan, and it's workable wherever I go, whatever situation I'm in.
Love
It's
that.
totally workable. And the blood sugar, that has been a key. Like, I really didn't realize how terrible I maybe was feeling when my blood sugar, I didn't realize, I guess, the first part of the program, you really get clean in a way, I guess you could say. Your nutrition gets so much better that then whenever you have a sugar spike, you're like, this doesn't feel very good. And you're able to become more intuitive too.
I love that you say that the concept of really being intuitive with your body doesn't just come because you decide I'm just going to listen to my body. You and your body aren't speaking the same language right now, right? Until you can start to understand what your body's language is. I love that. I love that. So I'd love to know from all of you. You all know how to eat. Would you all say that like you could, wherever you go, whatever you do, vacation, anything, you would feel confident about what you're doing and how you're doing it?
Easily, anywhere.
And I've learned that, if I decide that I want to have what we call a red light meal, that it's an appreciation meal, that there's no guilt with that. As long as I have made that intention, I enjoy every last bite. And then 3 hours later, I'm back doing what I'm supposed to do. And there's no guilt. And there used to be guilt. There was guilt all the time. If you had a little treat, there was that guilt, and there's no guilt anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
and the guilt, and then there was no eating for until the next day or whatever. Like, no, there was deprivation if you had that one thing or whatever. And that's just incredible. There's just not.
I love that.
Well, and I love that by pairing things. So if I want that cookie, I know how I can eat the protein I want to eat with that or before that I'm not going to get the same spike when I eat that cookie. And I don't feel there is no residual. I can't believe I had that cookie. I screwed the whole day up.
Exactly.
There's no, I had some chicken and I had the cookie I wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm done. Like, I don't need more than one. That's where I was. But there is, for so long, there was that guilt always in the back of your head, oh, I messed up the whole day. Or if you're doing, counting calories or whatever you're counting,
you've been eating all your calories.
I've eaten all my calories at 10 a.m. I'm done. That's it.
That used to drive me crazy. So I guess the thing that I get from a lot of people is that they just really are afraid that they're going to fail, right? Like that they've failed at everything before. And the three of you are all perfect examples of how you've tried all of these things and thought all of these ways. And you're sitting here now, 3 months, 6 months, 2 years in very different places than you were. So what do you say to somebody that says, I'm just afraid I'm going to fail again, and I don't want to fail again. I'm afraid to invest in myself because what if this doesn't work?
See,
I would say if you are all in 1% every day, like improving every day a little bit, you will get there. There's still a lot that I'm learning, but I haven't failed because I've improved so much. My knowledge about my body, my appreciation for my body, my understanding about how food works with my body. So I'm still moving forward.
I love that.
And I think we have access to continual learning. Every week you've got the coaching calls, there's the book studies, there's all the podcasts from the past. There's so much that you can learn from. And each week when, I listen to the coaching call, I leave there knowing something that I didn't know before and thinking a different way. And I think the other thing is that, little bumps in the road aren't failures anymore. They're just, okay, you move forward. And my diet mentality used to be, well, I blew it, so I'll start again on Monday. And those Mondays kept. And now it's not, I didn't blow it. I made the decision that I wanted to eat what I ate. And this is how it fits into my life so that I don't feel deprived. And it's not that, you're good or you're bad. It's just life now.
Yep, it's just data. That really it's helping me think through that, where really so many people had the same bump in a road, but it felt like a pothole or like a cavern that you couldn't get out of. And now it's just like no big deal. And so that's a big difference, right? And then the other piece, like you said, Dr. Ann, is the education. And once I would say once you can do, I think so many of the things that you've all done before, that I've done before, you just didn't have an education. It was eat this, don't eat that, have this many calories. You never really understood why you were doing it. And once you understand more of that, it's really hard to fail when truly know, and continue to learn. I think that was a really great point.
I think the only way you fail is if you don't continue to learn, if you don't engage, if you don't listen to the coaching calls and continue to learn and continue to grow. Because it's easy. I mean, after 2 years, I will tell you, every coaching call, I learned something. If I miss a call, I go back. I'm literally right now going back through every one of our, I did all the coaching calls for this year already, but I'm going back through again all our guest coaches this year because, we have one a month, but it's been a long time since January, right?
Yeah.
So by going back and refreshing all of that information, I'm realizing there are little bits that maybe I missed. Or,
Yep.
you know what?
That's
I bet if
why-
I tweak that one thing.
That's why we have the podcast and all of the pieces, because even our members who have access to us in so many deeper ways are still even doing the podcasts and
Oh,
getting to know all of that stuff as well. I love that each of you came to me, finding me randomly on the Facebook or the Instagram, and trusting enough to be like, okay, this seems different. And like I always say, don't take my word for it. Listen to the people who we've been with and who we've been working with. And if nothing else, recognizing that you can't get what you want by sticking with a diet, by restricting. The 3 questions that we always ask, right? 1, is this based in science, designed for your body to thrive? I mean, let's be honest. Anne's got the glucose monitor on, and she's seeing firsthand how what we teach is helping her body thrive. She can see inside her body. 2, can you do it for the rest of your life? If you can't do what you're doing, like not have carbs again for the rest of your life, you shouldn't be doing it, because Jen has proved that your body relies on consistency over time, not perfection. She's still, I mean, she was a pastry chef. You're still having the pastries.
I am. I still make them.
Would you let your kids do it? And if you're doing something that you wouldn't let your kids do, you shouldn't be doing it either. Our bodies are actually physiologically pretty similar. And I think our doctor could tell us that, right? Like, we all need our blood sugar stabilized. And yet we're also really important role models for all of these kids that are in our lives, and for people that are in our lives. So all of those pieces of the puzzle have to fit together, like Kathy said. So ladies, I love that you were so willing to share and to talk through your own stories, because your stories help other people have confidence that they can do this too. Any last words of wisdom that you want to share?
Just for me, believe in yourself. Just keep going. Like, believe in yourself. It's amazing when you have the puzzle pieces together, how far you can go.
Yep.
And you can't see this. You can't see my shirt, but I've got the I love me shirt on, because you have to love yourself, and taking care of yourself and putting your health first is the most important thing. You can't take care of anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself.
Amen. You love yourself too much. Now, you don't do this because you hate your body, but you do it because you love it. Jen, what do you got for us?
Perseverance and consistency, and know that baby steps. It's all about that 1% every single day. You can walk a little further. You ate something you didn't like yesterday that all of a sudden tastes amazing today, because your palate was so used to the junk that you've been putting in that now it's tasting things in a different way. And you're learning every day, learn something new.
So great. So consistency. I love that we can't compare progress, because comparison, I always say, is a thief of all joy, right? And so if Jen sat there and compared herself to Kathy or to Anne, who were making quote unquote progress faster, she could have easily given up. But to be able to know that each of us are on our own journey, and that we have something to learn from it, and that we have a purpose to serve, it all makes it worth it at the end. I think about how I had my kids, where I had all sorts of infertility issues, ended up not only with multiple miscarriages, but also IVF, and then adopting, and I wouldn't have changed my story for the world. And this is very much a journey of self-discovery, and you won't want to change it either once you go through it. So ladies, thank you for taking time out of your day to be able to be impactful to other people. I always say wherever you are in your journey, there's a place for your disruptive nutrition. So get yourself on a phone call, talk to one of our coaches, because if you want something different, you have to do something different. And you're not just gonna go click and buy something randomly on a website. You're gonna talk, you're gonna share your story, and you're gonna be part of the family. So book a call. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Carrie.
Let's do a big high five, because I love that, right? You ready? Let's go. Yeah.